Yes, guys, welcome back to SFeatleyTV. We're back for the preview for the Champions League final, the biggest game of the season. And yes, you're wondering why an Arsenal fan's actually doing this. But
It's the nearest you can get, mate. It's the nearest you're going to get in your lifetime.
yes, I'm never going to see it in my lifetime. I'm probably going to go bald, but like you.
Look. When I started supporting City, I had long hair, I had a ponytail. I was a heavy metal guy. And look what it's done to me, Sporting City. I've got no hair left, and now,
trust me,
finally,
watching Arsenal is going to end up the same, mate. I'm going to end up the same. But yeah, we got Epic Nin as well in the building. How are you? He's gone quiet.
Oh my bad, my mic was on mute. Yeah, I'm chill, man. I'm not that stressed as other City fans. I'm confident for the win, but we have to be wary how good are Chelsea considering under Tuchel as well. So I'm excited for tomorrow.
All right, cool. You just turn down what's in the background just in case it says. Cheers. Thanks. Charlie, we also got in the building from Dugout Daily. How are you, mate?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm looking forward to this. And to be fair, as much as I am going on about Chelsea and Man City, I don't want either of them to win it. I'd rather Man City, to be honest. They played better football this season. They've played outstandingly this season, and plus as well, the Chelsea fans are more unbearable to cope with if they win it. To be honest, it's about what one's the less worse to cope with. So, but yeah, Ray, we'll come to you first. How do you feel going into the game first?
Got to feel reasonably confident. I'm not going to go over the top because we've been stung before in the Champions League when we should have won games. You know, last year we should have beat Lyon. You know, that was really poor from us. We should have beat Spurs. That was really poor. We should have beat Monaco. That was really poor. Liverpool, I mean, they cheated so much, those officials. That was just unlucky. But no, we've had a rocky ride to get here. But I feel as confident as you should be because we're champions. We had a really good run. Okay, once we're pretty much over the line, we kind of threw a few games. I think at the end, mixing the teams up. But you got to feel confident. We're a decent outfit. I don't want to be overconfident because Chelsea are a good side. They didn't get here because purely through luck. I mean, the way they dismantled Real Madrid in the semi-final, they absolutely controlled that game and beat them really easily, comfortably. You know, they had so many chances, and on another day they could have got 4 or 5 goals, I think. So, as I said, confident, but trying to keep my feet on the ground at the same time, which is tough.
Epic Nin, how do you feel going into it?
Same thing that I said in my intro. I'm confident in this game, but I'm not ruling out Chelsea, as Ray said. There's a reason why they're here in the final. There's a reason why, and plus, there's been exceptional under Tuchel how he managed to turn this team around, and they were under dumps. At one point, they were 9th, and now look at them. They're now in top 4, and in the final they should have won, ideally. That's still a final in the FA Cup, and the final that in the Champions League that no one expected for Chelsea to be in. And Lampard, I don't think Lampard would be in any of those 2 finals. So, yeah. So I'm confident, but it'll be a tight game tomorrow.
And Charlie, how do you feel?
I'm excited. I'm confident, but there'll still be nerves in me. I think we should beat Chelsea. To be honest, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're probably excited because you're going to the game, aren't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, honestly, I'll be a one trip of a lifetime, especially if you do win it. But yeah, I just wanted to see, Ray, how do you feel that Pep is going to go into this game? How do you feel that he's going to come out of this game? He's going to go the same as usual, or try something a bit different?
I can't believe he's going to try something different.
Because you played Chelsea twice, And yes, you had a very changed side, but in the end, they still beat you twice. So
I don't like that.
Look for me, right? This notion, for me, right? Like I said, those of City fans will say this, right? Those 2 games deservedly so. Chelsea deserves to win those 2 games. Okay, and our second string team should be in their second string team, undeniably, right? But this is not our first 11, and we haven't encountered their first 11, and our first 11 managed to win us the league in comparison to Chelsea. So I am more confident to see how we do against them with our first 11. I think our first 11 is better than Chelsea's.
I think there's no denying that City are the best team because we won the league and we were consistent when it mattered for long periods of the season. I didn't like losing against Chelsea, partly because can you imagine if we'd won the FA Cup? If we'd won the FA Cup, what everybody would be saying now?
Well, it is, man. FA Cup is FA Cup. I guess it gives you history, and so it is what it is, man. We lost fair and square.
No, you don't understand the point. The point is, I didn't like losing to Chelsea because it gives them, however small, it gives them an advantage. They know, even though they played against City's second side, we changed 9 men in one game, 8 men in another.
Your second side will easily our side quite easily.
Sorry?
Your side will. Do you want to swap your second side with our first side?
No thanks. Please. I'm not sure. Maybe 2 of your players will get into our second side. But the thing is, you give them a little inkling that they can win. And it might not make much difference. It might be 2 or 3% extra positivity. But in football, it's marginal gains. It's in the head. A lot of it is in the head. Talk to coaches and managers,
especially Champions League.
Yeah,
especially Champions League. Look, for example, look at the week, like yesterday, Pep did an interview with Rio Ferdinand, right? He spoke about small margins in the Champions League, and if you don't have those small margins, for example, Mahrez not in the when he scored the free kicks at PSG, though they were straight, it managed to go through these physically small margins like this, and also you have to have the mental gain. And I think mental gain this year, we want this Champions League this year. We want it. We're hungry for it, and I think
we want it every year. But my point is, we've given Chelsea a marginal benefit by them beating us twice. They beat us in Manchester, whilst after coming from behind, beat us in was it injury time or whatever. So that's going to give them a small boost, and you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be giving them a sniff of anything. So I was disappointed with that FA Cup side, but I knew Pep's bigger picture was the Champions League. He wanted, we'd only beat Dortmund 2-1 at home in the Champions League. So that's why we went in with a much weakened side. If we'd beat Dortmund 3 or 4-0, you'd have seen a different side against Chelsea, and we'd have come out on top. I have no doubt about that. But as I said, losing those 2 games is a slight disadvantage. But Pep's messed around with the setup as well. I expect I hope Pep doesn't do what I expect. That's an odd thing to say. Against Lyon, I think he picked the team that most people expected, if I'm right. But he's done that a few times with the Arsenal semi-final a couple of years ago. He picked the team that everybody thought he'd pick. And then Arteta got the better of him because he knew what he was going to pick and what he was going to do. There's part of me thinks he might throw Raheem Sterling into the starting 11. I don't think many people are going to, many legitimate watchers of City this season would put Raheem Sterling in the starting 11 because
no way, he's been dreadful. Look, I love Raheem's a good player. He's been very good for us for the last few years under Pep Guardiola, right? But he's been dreadful this season.
He's been poor last season and worse this season. What I'm saying is, I wouldn't be surprised if Pep puts him in. I don't know who is missing out. If Gundogan, if his thigh injury or the limp he had in training.
I saw that limping, man. I saw that limp. I'm worried.
It's not as serious as it looks.
It's not serious, but I'm just saying. Part of me expects. We all know the 11 that Pep should be picking, but part of me thinks maybe he's going to throw, throw a little one at Tuchel because Tuchel knows the side Pep's picking. He knows the formation. Everybody knows it. But maybe Pep will just try and throw a little curveball. I hope he does. I hope he doesn't do anything daft. Look, we're going to play the way. The one thing you got to remember, we play the way Chelsea want us to play. Some of the games they've lost recently, it's against teams who have sat back, and Chelsea have been unable to break them down because they haven't got that little bit of magic that they might have had in the past with Hazard or whoever, or in the years gone by. Drogba would create something out of nothing. They've got nothing. So Villa beat them, Leicester beat them, and someone else beat them recently. So, yeah, West Brom. So West Brom hammered them. But the thing is with City, we play the way Chelsea want. We're a lot more open. We're not going to defend. We'll be on the front foot. That's going to leave gaps. That's what Chelsea will go for. What I don't want Pep to do is change our style to worry about them. I think he's done that too often in the Champions League. Change things around, worried about the opponents, and not play to our strengths. Our strengths, as we've shown this season, is possession. Keep that ball. Make it work. Press. Create space. Don't be afraid to pass it back and be patient. Get your chances and stick enough of them away to win. That's been our way to play. And I hope
one thing is right about Chelsea, right? We don't let, though it happened this time, our game, right? Though we scored first, we still lost the game. But for me, right, we should never, especially with their first 11, right? We should never let them score in the first because they just lock off, defend the whole game, and they'll see it through because their defense is amazing. Under Tuchel as well. So we need to score first, and we need to score quickly to get down their confidence, in my opinion.
Yeah, Charlie, how do you look at it? What do you think that should be the best way to go for Man City? Oh, it's gone from it. So, do you feel Tuchel will also try and change up as well? Like, instead of trying to do the same thing he did twice. Right.
Sorry? Are you talking to Charlie? Oh.
Yeah, do you think Tuchel will try and change it up instead of doing the same thing he did twice to try something different?
Nah, Tuchel's he's a type of manager that keeps his philosophy that has been working all season. Why would he change it now in the final? What's the point? What's the point? Why would you change a very good system that's been working all season? So it just doesn't make sense. Same for us as well. Why would you change our side that's been working in that 20 game winning streak? Why would you change in the final? And why did you change the way from the quarterfinals to the finals? Like, what's the point? Just keeps you your strengths. It keeps you to your best 11, and you will win it. And also have the mental side of it as well. Like, there's no need to change stuff.
So, what would you say is sort of your key asset that Chelsea needs to be most afraid of?
Defense. The attack is not that great.
But what would you say is the key player for you in this game for you?
For us, I thought we were talking about them. For me, right? Yeah. For them, right? Their defense is worrying. All right.
I'm talking about a key player, like the most important sort of player for this game. Would you say it?
Phil Foden.
The one that got
Phil Foden. I think Phil Foden being a massive part this season in most of our Champions League. Though he missed a lot of chances in that Dortmund game, he took the pressure and shot from long distance, and most players wouldn't even try to think of shooting. And went in, and he saved us so many times, and been man of our matches most of the season as well. I think Chelsea should be worried about Phil Foden. I don't know about you, Ray.
It's hard to pick on one. It's hard because we've had so many match winners this season. It's hard to pick on just one. But it's like normal. We need enough of our players to step up. You know, if we get 7 or 8 of our players at it and on their A game, then I think we'll do it as a team. We're not going to do it as a bunch of individuals.
Ray, I have a question, right? Do you think Cancelo should be back? Because in the last one, he's been poor. He's been poor, man. Cancelo.
No, in no way Cancelo plays. Cancelo only plays when KDB doesn't. If you notice when KDB was absent, Cancelo was awesome. awesome. He was in midfield. He was creating. He was getting forward. He was having shots. He got the odd goal. And he was creating a lot for Gundogan. And Gundogan was a lot better, I think, when KDB wasn't there because he was able to run into that space. Now KDB's back. Gundogan's level has dropped. And Cancelo's level has dropped so far that he's dropped out the side. So there's no way, absolutely no way Cancelo comes back for me. You need his pace, especially if they're going to put Werner out wide, which I think if they put him down on the left, I think that's probably the best place for him. Not up front, play Havertz up front, use his height, and let Werner use his pace down the flanks. I think if they put Werner down the middle, as long as we're sensible, I think that's playing into our hands. But I want Walker there. I want Walker's pace. He's got that little bit of extra pace, a little bit of,
and I want Zinchenko's
physicality.
Yeah,
I want
Charlie in. Charlie. If you look at Chelsea side, who is the key player for you that you will be most looking out for out of that Chelsea side? I would say for me, Mason Mount. For me.
Yeah, Mason Mount. I think if we keep him quiet, we win the game.
Yeah, for me. I mean, all that's funny to me is that last time Chelsea were in a Champions League final, Drogba was playing his last game for Chelsea, right? And obviously scored the winning penalty, and the rest is history. Now it's Man City going in, and it's Aguero's last game for City. I feel it's got Aguero winning, an Aguero winner win all over it. It's just like a perfect end. It's a perfect ending. I do see it. It's a perfect.
It'll be a good fairy tale, though. It'll be a good fairy tale, but I don't think it's gonna happen, unfortunately.
I mean, for me personally, if I was gonna have my way, I'd say Aguero doesn't start. And do what happened against Everton. He comes on at half time, or comes on after 60 minutes. City 2-0 up, scores a hat trick, and gets carried off into the sunset on the back of a thrashing. I don't think that's going to happen either, but it would be nice.
Do you think there's any chance of penalties or?
I hope not.
No. Oh, geez, no. We're rubbish at penalties. You realise that, Steve? We are rubbish.
That's what I'm worried. That's the only thing I'm worried for you guys for.
But I don't think they'll use the normal penalty takers. I reckon Edison will be first on the penalties, and he'll score. He'll just hit it so hard that if Mendy touches it, he won't do it again. But I think if he blasts it, if Mendy touches it, that's it. Mendy won't be goalkeeper for the rest of the penalty shootout because Edison will rocket it. I think they'll change it up. I think they'll step up. They've got to. I mean, if they have nerves in this game, then it's a big problem.
Go on, Charlie.
Well, before I go, I have to. As I said, I can only stay for a short amount of time, and I have to go now. Just want to give my final thoughts and score prediction.
Go on.
Like I said, keep our best philosophy. Keep our best 11 that got us to this position here, and I think we'll win. It'll be a tight game tomorrow. Don't underestimate Chelsea, and I don't overestimate Chelsea as well. Okay, because our first 11 has been great this season. So for me, it's going to be a tough match tomorrow, and I think it's going to be a 2-1 win to see up the Blues.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks a pick for coming on, man. Short thing. It's really appreciate it.
In a bit, man. Up the Blues.
Yeah,
see you in a bit.
Take care. Yeah, so Charlie, go on then. What do you?
I was just gonna say on the subject of penalties, all players took 11 penalties in training today. Edison scored the most with 10.
Oh wow! So maybe you should go with that. Maybe you should use a goalkeeper then.
I said Edison, man.
Yeah. Chelsea fan. Man City will win 2-0 tomorrow. That's a Chelsea fan saying. Wow. That's big. That's big. I just feel, I've always felt we're going into this final. You've just got too much in terms of what's on the pitch and what's on the bench. Right? You've just got too much for Chelsea, and that's not me underestimating Chelsea. That's just me just having a look at both sides and seeing it how I would see it going into it. You've just got too much depth compared to Chelsea and too much options. And yeah, so that's why I'm saying if they're playing what you're saying is a top side, I struggle to see them getting to winning the game. But yeah, I mean, what lineup would you go for, Ray?
I'd probably go for one that everybody's expecting. We're going to have Edison in goal, Walker, Stones, Diaz, Zinchenko, Fernandinho, Bernardo, Gundogan, Foden, KDB, and Riyad Mahrez.
Yeah, Riyad Mahrez has been epic for that Champions League campaign. Charlie, who would you go for?
Edison, Walker, Diaz, Stones, Zinchenko, probably Fernandinho, De Bruyne, Bernardo or Gundogan, and then Mahrez, Foden, Jesus or KDB as a false 9.
Yeah, that could work. I mean, that worked against PSG, didn't it? So, and that's the thing. You've just got so many sort of ways you can go about this. You can play the striker up front. You can play a false 9. There's just so many options for you to have, and that's where I think Chelsea will struggle. I think Chelsea have got a good side, and they've got a very good side, but I think they've got many sort of one way of playing, and they've been. And I think the problem is as well is that you've got an option of being able to get in sort of midfielders like Foden and that to be able to score your goals with a false 9, whereas they've had to try and rely on Werner to score their goals, and that's why they've ended up missing a lot of chances. And I feel because you're more clinical, you're taking your chances. That's where I think the game will be won, because I think in the Champions League final, you have to take any chance that comes along. And I feel Chelsea just missed too many chances for me. So that's why I see Man City going through and winning this game. So I mean, but then again, it's a final, and anything can happen in a final. I mean, we played in the semi-final last season, and I was actually gobsmacked. I was actually gobsmacked. We actually won that, so it could all change in the first 5 minutes. It depends how the game goes. It's do you feel though that like there's just that sort of added pressure because this is not just your first final, it's like the first sort of trophy, Champions League sort of trophy you could win. Do you feel that's an added pressure as well?
There's always going to be a little bit of added pressure, isn't it? Obviously, you're not being here. It's, for most of the players, it's a totally new experience. Gundogan's been here, but that was it 8 years ago? And they
the
lost.
problem is they're going to end up try and play. It's more trying to play the game rather than the occasion.
Yeah, but then it's how many? Without even looking at Chelsea, how many Chelsea players have actually won the Champions League? They've won the Europa League, a few of these, I suspect. But how many of them have actually won the Champions League?
Yeah.
So
that's
you know.
well.
So how much of a benefit is it for them? I'm not so sure they're going to get a lot of benefit out of this. It's you know, it's kind of the same for both. The pressure and everything else. I'm not going to worry that our guys are a little bit more inexperienced, but they played other big occasions. They played semi-finals of World Cups. Sterling's been in a semi-final of a World Cup. Stones has, I think. KDB has. So plenty of them have been there. I think Fernandinho played in the 7-1 that Brazil got beat by Germany. So they've been there. They've had some disappointments, but they've been there in big tournaments at the final stage. So you'd like to think now they're comfortable in what they're doing. They're confident in what they're doing. It feels generally this season, it feels like they're more in control of their emotions, and they feel confident that they're going to get back into games. And generally they've done really well. So I think that confidence and that calmness is going to show through.
Yeah. Charlie, do you feel the same way, or do you feel that it's going to be that added pressure for you?
Yeah, I think we've got more experienced players, like you said, Ray, with KDB, Fernandinho, players like that. Chelsea got the likes of Thiago Silva, who could bring experience for them, but overall, I'd back us.
Because that's the thing as well, is that like the other thing is that your favourites. I think your favourites to go in this game as well.
Yeah.
So that could also be another thing, a factor to add into that as well.
It's a little bit. There's a little bit of pressure. There's a little bit of pressure with being favourites, but in all honesty, I don't think I'm not going to worry about it anymore. Being favourites, I don't think once the game starts, I don't think the players are going to worry about it either. It might be something that affects them building up and everything else, but you get to a stage where they're too good for that. They're too experienced, most of them. They're too professional to let it affect them too much.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. But it was only going to be a short one anyway. Final scores, score predictions for you guys. Ray, what do you think? How do you think it's going to?
I did some before, and I said 2-1. No, let's think. Generally, this season I've gone 2-0 City. I just think once we get ahead, we just do that. I'll say 1-0 City because I just don't. I think once we get ahead, we'll try and kill the game. Chelsea will try. We might hit them on the break to get that second goal, but I'm going to go 1-0 City.
Okay, Charlie, what are you going for?
3-1 City.
Whoa,
get him
3-1 City. He's confident. He's going out there. He's confident. He's not holding back now. So, he better not hold back. So when he gets back, I'm going to give him a roasting. I'm going to say, "What you do? You let me down." But I think for me, I would say I usually, when it comes to scores, usually go 2-1, but I think 2-1 City for me. And I don't think there'll be one goal in it, and I don't think there'll be clean sheets between the two of them. So I think it'll be 2-1 City. It'll be going sort of to the last 20 minutes before a winner that he's putting in it for me. So, and I'm betting it's a Aguero winner. I can see it. I can just see it happening.
I don't want it to be an ugly game like yesterday's. Yesterday's was the United game was, the day before. It was horrible. It was, I was doing a live stream, a watch along on that game. I was doing a watch along, and in the end, I said at full time when it was 1-1, I said, guys, sorry, I can't do any more. It's just so boring. So I had to give up. I mean, probably I should have just done the watch along of the penalties because that actually was interesting. But the rest of the game was boring. So I don't want it to be like, I'd like it to be, if I'm honest, I don't want it to be exciting. I want City to win 4-0 and that's it. I don't want an exciting game. I just want a boring game. City win. Don't have to worry. I don't want to be chewing my nails, hoping City hang on or get a goal or equalise, whatever. At this point in my life, I just want an easy game.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get that. Trust me. It's the Champions League. It's the Champions League final from when I remember watching it. 2006. It was about 10. I had a friend round overnight. I tell you what, it's the most awful game you'll watch in your life. It's so bad to watch. It's so tense. It's so nervy.
If you're winning 3-0 after 30 minutes, is it a bad game to watch?
It still is. It still is because anything. It still is because anything can happen. For me, it still is. So I mean, like you had that 3-0 comeback from Liverpool. So yeah, even if you're 2-0 up, it's just like, oh god, just you're waiting for the clock to time. The clock goes for fucking ages. It does. It really does. But no doubt you'll probably find out how it went on Saturday. But yeah, we'll leave it there anyway. Thanks to everyone that's tuned in as well. Thanks to Ray for coming on. Charlie, Epic Nin as well. We'll be back in about an hour's time for the Checker Flag show, which is F1 news show. So, yeah, bit of a worrying statement that Toto Wolff put out last weekend, but there you go. Wait and see what that's all about. But we'll be back for that, and then 9 p.m. we're looking at football's greatest rivalries, the Manchester Liverpool derby. So yeah. But until then, everyone stay safe, stay well. And by the way, Charlie, where can they find you? Sorry.
You can find me at MTFC Hibs on Twitter. You can find me at Dugout Daily live at 5:45 talking about Ibrahima Konate, who's just signed for Liverpool, and David Alaba, who's just signed for Real Madrid. And a bit of a preview to the playoff final and the Champions League final, which are both tomorrow. So we're live at 5:45 for that on Dugout Daily.
Wicked. Yeah, and I'm live at 6:30. How long is that going for?
Depends how in depth we go. It's only me and CP at the minute, so I don't know how long
Could you
it'll
ask?
be.
Because I'm trying to ask Chris if he's going to come onto the football rivalries thing, because it's Man United Liverpool rivalries. Yeah, if you could ask him for us, that'd be great.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, thanks. Thanks to everyone that's tuning in as usual, and we'll be back at 6:30. Until then, take care. Bye bye.
See ya.
I was watching that back. That was fucking internet shite. My internet's fucking shite.
Mm.
Fucking hell, man. Honestly, I'm tempted to put it up to 4 data. Got a limited data, you see.
Yeah, same.
I sort of think about hotspotting it. Plus, I'm trying to work out how Streamlabs work so I can do my gaming. Because if I can get the Streamlabs working, I could probably maybe do live like an hour gaming on the or 2 hour gaming on the Rome Total War or PS4 remote play.
Yeah.
Do a couple of FIFA games. And you got me in the picture. I'm trying to see if I can move that watermark, that mark there. I want to move that like where that's. You see where that's there? Do you think it's better when it's down there in the corner?
What?
That red, like my logo. Do you think that's better in the corner? That on the bottom right.
I don't see anything in the bottom right.
No, do you think it'd be better if I put it down the bottom right?
Oh. Potentially. It depends if you use the logo or the writing.
The thing about in this season about moving my F1 content to a different channel. I was like, that's bad. It was bad enough trying to set up this one. I don't know, honestly.